Today we're looking at a major legal challenge playing out right here in the Western Cape High Court. New statistics showing that our province has one of the country's highest proportions of people aged 60 and over, and then we've got a couple of stories that have social media talking, from an alleged racial slur during a school rugby match to a certain off-campus couple making fans very excited. And of course we'll wrap things up with a little Kaappraat. So let's dive right in. Good morning everyone and welcome back to the group chat. I'm your host, Anna-Marie de Toy. So today we're starting with a story that could have some pretty big implications for property owners across South Africa. The Western Cape High Court is hearing a constitutional challenge to South Africa's Expropriation Act, with the Democratic Alliance joining AfriForum and the Institute of Race Relations as applicants in the case. The Act, which was signed into law in 2025, sets out how the state can expropriate property for public purpose, or in the public interest. But the controversy centers around one particular issue. Can property be expropriated with no compensation in circumstances? The DA and AfriForum argue that parts of the Act are unconstitutional and undermine property rights. The DA is also challenging the way the legislation was passed. They are arguing that the National Council of Provinces did not have the required support from at least 5 provinces. The case is expected to be heard over 5 days, and there are several parties involved on both sides. AfriForum is challenging specific sections of the Act, while the EFF and the Minister of Land Reform and Rural Development have applied to participate as respondents. Now, just to put this into perspective, this doesn't necessarily mean that people's homes or businesses are suddenly being taken away. The court is being asked to determine whether parts of the legislation are constitutional and whether the process used to pass the Act was lawful. And the outcome could have major implications for how expropriation works in South Africa going forward. The government has previously maintained that the legislation is intended to bring expropriation law in line with the Constitution and allow the state to acquire property when it's in public interest. But opponents argue that the Act creates uncertainty around property rights, investment and ownership. So this is definitely a case worth watching. The big question that we have to ask now is, what will the court ultimately decide, and what could this mean for property rights in South Africa? Let's head to an ad break.
From the heart of the continent to its farthest horizons, Africa awakens with stories that shape our world. This is Africa Good Morning, your window into the pulse of a dynamic continent. I'm Ashwin Berry, here to deliver the latest news, sharp insights, and the vibrant spirit of Africa. Every weekday, we dive into the headlines, uncover untold stories, and spotlight the people driving change. Plus, stay ahead with daily weather forecasts and economic updates to navigate your week with confidence. With direct coverage from our correspondents on the ground, we bring you in-depth access to Africa's beating heart. Mondays, Mike Situla reports from Zambia.
Africa, good morning.
Tuesdays, Talent Gore covers Zimbabwe. Wednesdays, Rorisang Mokojwe brings Botswana's news. Dumela, Rorisang.
Thank you very much, Ashwin, for having me right here on Africa Good Morning. It is always a pleasure to be here with you all.
Thursdays, Ari Hogat tackles South Africa.
Yes, a very good morning, Ashwin and Anna. Yes, a good atmosphere.
And Fridays, we focus on Namibia's bold narratives. From thriving cities to rugged plains, our team is there, capturing the rhythm of a continent on the rise. Africa Good Morning is your essential start. News, weather, economics, and more.
So now let's talk about something that's going to affect all of us in one way or another, because the Western Cape is getting older. New figures from Statistics South Africa show that 12.4% of the Western Cape's population is aged 60 and above. That makes the province one of only 2 in South Africa where more than 12% of the population falls into that age group, with the Eastern Cape slightly higher at 13.2%. And this isn't just an interesting statistic. A growing older population means there's going to be an increasing demand for healthcare, social services, housing, and support for elders. The Western Cape government says it's already seeing that demand increase. More than 271 million rand has been allocated this financial year to organizations providing services to older people. That includes funding for more than 5,000 residential care spaces, as well as thousands of community-based service subsidies. And the numbers are expected to keep growing. Stats SA's broader research has shown that South Africa's population aged 60 and older has been increasing steadily, reaching about 6.6 million people nationally in 2025. So what does this mean for the Western Cape? Well, as people live longer, we need to make sure our communities and services are keeping up. That means thinking about healthcare, accessible public spaces, support for people living independently, and making sure older residents aren't left behind. It also affects families. More people may find themselves balancing work and their own children while also helping care for aging parents or grandparents. The Western Cape government says the latest data will help motivate for additional funding and support for services for older people. So, while 12.4% might just sound like another statistic, it actually tells us something pretty important about where our province is heading. We're living longer, and now we need to make sure we're building a province that works for people at every stage of life. Let's head over to Social Buzz.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative Sport Tourism.
Okay, so this next story has sparked a lot of anger across Cape Town, and yes, it's another something that happened during a schoolboy rugby match. A game between Fairmont High School from Durbanville and the Settlers High School from Bellville was abandoned on Saturday after a referee stopped the match following an alleged racial slur. It is alleged that a Fairmont learner directed the K-word at a learner from the Settlers, and footage of the incident has since gone viral. Let's take a look.
I think I need both coaches. There was a K-word going on here, and I won't tolerate it. I'm going to call the game, unfortunately. No, I can't be part of racism, guys. You understand? Yes. Call the coaches for me. Coach.
The referee can be heard explaining that a racial slur had allegedly been used and that he would not tolerate it, ultimately deciding to call the game off. And honestly, regardless of what happens with the investigation, the message from that referee is pretty clear. There is no place for racism in school sport. Both schools have now confirmed that they are investigating what happened. Fairmont High's principal said the incident is being treated with the utmost seriousness and that the school will follow its policies, applicable legislation, and due process. The Settlers High has also said the matter is being viewed in the most serious light and that a thorough investigation will take place. Both schools are asking parents, learners, and the wider school communities not to share or comment on unverified information online, because doing so could potentially interfere with the investigation. So for now, while we don't know exactly what happened or what disciplinary action may follow, we do know that a school rugby match was brought to an early end over an alleged racial slur, and it has once again opened up a much bigger conversation about racism, sportsmanship, and the behavior we expect from young people on and off the field. School sports should be competitive, and it should be passionate, but there should never be place for racism. Let's head to an ad break.
Missed the madness? Catch every sharp jab, unfiltered truth, and political punchline from Second Take, the show that says what others won't. From presidential bloopers to policy absurdities, we satirize the powerful and poke the pompous. If you didn't catch the fire live, don't sweat it. Every single story is waiting for you on Echo. Find us at 102.com and Echo, in your time, on your terms.
Ons afspraak elke Vrydag aand, dit is 7:30 in die tonnel. Lekkerte van in die tonnel is ons gesels met die sportman en die sportvroue wat op die sportveld opstap en opdraf. Praat met die afrigters, ons kundiges wat saamgesels, soos MW Welman van Megafoon Sport, Mike Potgieter, kundige op die rugbyfront. Dis lekker saamgesels. Ons hoor wat sê almal, wat kan die naweek gebeur? Is almal gesond en wie word gekies? Dit is Saterdag se aksie, Sondag se aksie, maar nie net internasionaal nie. Ons kyk ook wat in Namibië gebeur. Lekker saamgesels. Vrydag aande, ons gesels saam, 7:30 in die tonnel.
So now that we've gone through all of the serious stories, I have something a little lighter. And if you've been on the internet lately, you might have seen a certain off-campus couple getting people very excited. Josh Heuston and Mika Abdalla, who play Justin and Ali in the Prime Video series, are officially dating, according to a source cited by Entertainment Tonight. And honestly, fans have been watching this one for a while. The two became particularly close during the show's press tour, with fans picking up on their chemistry in interviews and social media posts. Then in June, dating rumors really started gaining momentum. Photos of the pair together in Paris began circulating online, showing them looking pretty close, and suddenly the internet had a lot to say. Just days earlier, Mika's representative had also confirmed that she and actor Jake Short had ended their engagement. Josh and Mika hadn't publicly commented on the dating rumors at that point, but the speculation continued to grow. Then came the confirmation. The source told Entertainment Tonight that the two were dating. So it looks like we have a little bit of chemistry going on between Justin and Ali, more than Dean and Ali. Fans were quick to point out that in a recent video circulated by the off-campus team, you can see Ali spending more time with Justin than her actual love interest on the show. Let's take a look. So this video has fans a little divided, with some saying that shouldn't we be seeing a little bit more of Ali and Dean, the couple that we all know and love and that is true to the books. But obviously Mika and Josh have turned into something a little more off-screen. And let's be honest, when your favorite TV couple starts dating in real life, the internet is going to have opinions. So, are you shipping Josh and Mika, or are you still trying to separate Justin and Ali from the actors who played them? Let's head over to Kaapstad.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens a platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative Sport Tourism.
This is Generation C, where high school stories come alive. It's youth-led, youth-driven, and all about real voices from real schools. From standout learners and aspiring teachers, to school culture, talent, vibes, and everything that makes each school unique. No scripts, no filters, just authentic moments and big energy. Catch Generation C every Friday at 12 p.m. on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25. Missed it? No stress. Watch anytime on 1UP2 under My Zone TV. Generation C, made by the youth for the youth. This is where your school gets the spotlight.
Business First Africa is a forward-looking business show that goes beyond balance sheets to capture how Africans are building, creating, and living. Afrotech explores innovation, AI, and digital systems shaping the continent's economies. Brave and Building profiles Namibian entrepreneurs and businesses transforming industries and urban spaces. Creative Capital spotlights creatives and the creative economy, unpacking how culture becomes value. Africa in 10 delivers a sharp roundup of key developments across the continent. Don't miss Business First Africa, because it's not just business, it's life.
Now you guys, this next story actually has me thinking. We all complain about litter, dirty streets, and the state of some of our neighborhoods. But how many of us actually stop and do something about it? Well, one Cape Town teenager has taken a pretty unusual approach. His name is Johnny Daniels, but you might know him as the Templar of the Cape. And yes, he literally dresses up like a modern-day knight while cleaning up neighborhoods around Cape Town. Take a look at this video.
Right now, we're just coming back. Did a cleanup in Plumstead, as some of the members of the community wanted me to clean up Exeter Road. Now, I accidentally started at the wrong side of Exeter Road. So when I got to the end, I'd run out of trash bags, and I realized, oh my goodness, this is where the most trash is. So I'm sorry for that. But the good news is, like 70% of that road is nearly spotless. The remaining 20% is still really bad, and I'm working on it. We'll try to fix that.
I mean, how can you not love this? Johnny travels by train between different parts of the city, including areas like Meisenberg, Plumstead, and Wynberg, spending hours picking up litter. But he's not just doing this for himself. He's also created a community movement called Cleaners of the Cape, encouraging other people to get involved in cleanups. And yes, you can even show up wearing your own cape or mask. And I actually think there's something really cool about this, because picking up rubbish isn't exactly the most glamorous way to spend your afternoon. But he's managed to turn it into something people can actually get excited about. Take a look.
Get all of that. I'm gonna need a shovel at this point, guys. This is not cutting it. So, it's not exactly perfect, but it's a lot better than it was before. So, you know, that's something. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's better. Yeah.
And And that's what I find so interesting. We spend so much time talking about our cities, what our government should be doing, and there are obviously very real issues here that government need to address. But there's also something so powerful about communities taking ownership of the spaces around them. And honestly, would you join one of these cleanups? Because I'm not saying I'm going to show up next weekend dressed as a knight. But if everyone else is wearing capes, I might have to. And maybe that's exactly the point. Sometimes making a difference doesn't have to be this massive, complicated thing. Sometimes it's just picking up the rubbish that's right in front of you and convincing a few other people to join you. So Johnny, if you're watching, I think Cape Town might need a few more Templars. And that is our car praat for today. This is a wrap on the group chat. We've covered a little bit of everything, from a major constitutional challenge and some pretty interesting population statistics, to a school rugby controversy, celebrity relationship rumors, and a Cape Town teenager proving that you don't need a superpower to make a difference. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning, and remember, if it's happening, we're talking about it. See you tomorrow.